Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn jiu-jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a new dog. I got a new dog. Actually, my family got a new dog. More specifically, my son got a new dog. He's been asking about a new dog for a couple of years now. His last birthday, he wanted a dog, so this birthday we got him a dog. I really researched this quite a bit. My wife was tentative about getting him the dog. We have a cat that's 23,000 years old. No, she's like 20. I've talked about her before, so, dogs and cats don't always get along. This cat doesn't like anyone, including people. She wouldn't like another cat. She wouldn't like other living things other than my wife, kind of me, but not really. So that was a concern of my wife's. And like dogs tear things up. My wife didn't really want to deal with that. But I could tell she's happy that we have the new one. My son wanted a couple different breeds. First he wanted like a Frenchie. I looked into Frenchies. They're like $1 billion. I have a friend that actually bred them, but I can't afford it. It's like $3,000 for a dog. I can't. Even if I had the money, maybe I would do it if I had the money, but I don't know. That's a lot of money for a dog, and for me. And there's so many breeds out there and kettle dogs like that need homes. So like I just can't do that. I did want to start with a puppy. Part of this also was like a responsibility thing for my son. I wanted him to have, you understand this is a sense of like a living thing. Like you have to take care of it. It's not like a toy, like you can have fun. It could be like almost your best friend, but your best friend isn't a toy, at the end of the day. And imagine if your best friend relied on you for food and water and use a restroom and to take care of them, their health needs. Like that's on you, man. So we talked to him. Well, I talked to him a lot, and my wife, about like this responsibility of having a dog, and you're gonna have to train this dog. And then this time around, I wanted to have a really trained dog. I had 2 dogs prior when I lived on my own. I had a Dachshund, Dapple Dachshund, mini Dapple Dachshund, little guy, and he was a butthead. And then I had, which we named Booger because my wife said he was a little booger. And then we had Tipsy, which is another dog, was also a cattle dog. So I meant to go to the pound and get another Dachshund. I thought, 2 Dachshund would be fun. They'd like each other and hang out with each other. But it didn't work out that way. So I ended up getting an Australian cattle dog, and then we kind of went from there. And then when she passed away, we haven't had a dog for a couple years now. So the boys kind of knew Tipsy. They both knew Tipsy, but my younger son was pretty young. My older son knew Tipsy a little longer, and Booger. But he wanted another dog. So this time he wanted that. He wanted a Corgi. We looked into Corgis. I almost got a Corgi. They're expensive also, but I could get one a little bit cheaper than the Frenchie. Then one day he's like, I want a cattle dog. And he's specific, wants a male blue heeler. Okay, so we had a red before. And there's really not much difference, just the color difference. The original ones in Australia are blues. They're all blues. But I don't know the history of the reds, why there's reds. But we had a red before. The temperament's supposedly the same. These cattle dogs are pretty cool. I started researching more. I had one when I was a kid too. And it's just a fun dog, energetic dog. If you had energy and you had a family that was active, it's a good dog. If you're a lazy person, you shouldn't have this dog. If you just want to hang out and you want the dog to sit next to you, this is not the dog for you. Okay, they need to be worked. So and they enjoy that. They chase cattle and healers because they bite the heels of cattle. My old dog used to be so fast. I could be rollerblades. Yes, I like rollerblades. It could run sideways faster than I can go forwards. It was so fast. And like angles, they can maneuver really well because they don't want to get stomped on big giant cows. Like they get kicked in the head too. So they're bred to be very tough and to survive in Australia. So when the British went to Australia, they started doing cattle. they brought their sheep dogs over, and in England their cattle were more docile, and the element was easier. Like the land, I mean, it's just England. It's not as big. Australia's, I don't know, 50 times the size of England. So it just didn't. They needed a new type of dog, so they bred this dog with dingoes and a couple other breeds, and created the Australian blue heeler cattle dog, and which is a long name, but they're really cool dog, very, very smart, super smart dogs. And so I just thought that it was like just I had to make sure my machine is still working, recording. But I just thought it would be a cool dog for him to have. And we've been watching videos about how to train dogs. And this dog, we're going to crate train. We're trying to crate train it. So that's been tough. We just started. I picked him up Wednesday. We picked him out a couple weeks ago. My son went down. We found somebody that had some puppies. And she's not a breeder. She just wanted to do one litter. She said she wanted the mom to be a mom for once. I thought it was a nice sentiment a little bit, and she's not just breeding this dog over and over and over and over again, getting pregnant. But just one litter of puppies, and so he picked out the one he wanted and named him Bongo. Bongo comes from a weird German, I think it's a German band in the 80s that my son and my wife found, and they thought it was hilarious. And then this song called Guile, Guile. It's a weird nobody song in the 80s that was ridiculous. It just repeats it over and over again. And anyway, he liked the name Bongo, and so that's the dog's name. It's a cute dog. We picked him up Wednesday. We've had him for a couple days now, and he's been part of our household for a couple days. So it's been fun, and I forgot how much work puppies are. He hasn't torn anything up yet, but he bites a lot, and he has his accidents, so it takes a lot of energy. So we've been busy with him, and it's been a fun experience, and hopefully I can keep my son going. After a couple of weeks of crate training, it's going to be tiring, but the good news is it's the summer, so he has time to put into him, and he doesn't have to go to school right now, so he can be with the dog every day and work with the dog every day, and just get the dog comfortable and knowing him and learning with him. He's not going to be stuck by himself or stuck with my wife all day. And then my wife doesn't have to have the responsibility of training this dog. I mean, she's going to have to a little bit when the boys go back to school in about a month, but I think in the next couple 5 to 6 weeks, if my son can put a lot of effort into the dog, all of us work together, I think a couple hours a day of not seeing his master, he'll be all right. He'll be okay. But I'm excited. They also love to swim, so we'll see how that goes. We're going to probably test that out this weekend. And that should be fun, seeing Bongo trying to swim as a little puppy. They love water. So we have a pool. That should be cool. Again, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun and a new kind of adventure for us. A lot of people have dogs. I get it, but we haven't for a while. So I'm just happy for the opportunity to teach my son responsibility and taking care of something, feeding, and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so here's part 2. I had technical difficulties, but I had a couple more days with the puppy. He's doing pretty good. My son is a little bit tentative because when he bites him, he's bit him a couple times pretty hard. And my younger son, he's pretty young, freaked out a little bit. So we're trying to get him used to biting, but telling him ouch and letting him kind of let off the bite so he can learn how to bite. And he does it pretty good with me, but I think maybe I can handle more pain than my son. So my son's like, it's freaking me out, and he'll run. Well, it's a cattle dog, so they chase things. They like to chase, so that's awesome for him. He'll start biting your ankles, and that's what they do. That's why they're called a heeler. They bite your heels. So we're just working on that right now. Potty training, obviously. I do like cattle dogs though, because they can learn so fast, and I feel like he's already learning to bite not as hard, um, like play bite, And then we're getting a second shot today, so then my parents, they can bring their little dogs over. They have little dogs, which is good, and they can play, and I think they learn faster with other dogs play biting, so that the other dogs will let them know for sure, like, hey, you're biting too hard, and they'll learn a little quicker. Plus, they need to interact with other dogs, so they learn how to play correct. Because again, cattle dogs will herd things. So like my old dog, we got her at 6 months, so a lot of stuff was already kind of done for her. But we took her one time to a park. I took her, and she herded the whole dog park. Like, there was probably 15 dogs. And everyone's looking at me like, hey, man, what's going on? Like, big dogs, like those wolf dogs, those hybrids or whatever, she did not care. She'll just circle them all, start biting their heels, and they'll just all, okay. It was amazing to me that all the dogs just kind of listen, which is weird. So I don't want that, I'd like to take her to places and not try to herd everything. It is part of their instinct, so we're going to try to play a lot of fetch with him, and so far he likes the ball, so we're going to try to use that. I incorporated taking him in the pool yesterday, the day before too, and he seems, he's a little nervous about it, but he seems to like it. He swam a little bit. I didn't want to overwhelm him. Their fur is really thick. They have an undercoat, so I think it made him pretty heavy, and he's not very strong yet, but it'll help get the energy out, get him stronger. We'll play a lot in the pool with him. And then in the summer, when it's so hot out, at least he can get in the pool versus like playing in the yard. It's so hot. So that's kind of my strategy, to get him burn out a little bit and have my son play with him in the pool. I think that'll be fun. We need to cut his nails a little bit, probably. They're kind of sharp and starting to like curl, like almost like a cat. The good news is they don't dig much, and they don't bark a lot, too much. So they're not like hounds. But you do have to be cautionary that they like to chase things, and they do like to bite heels, and so you just got to teach them that, when is it okay to play and when is it not, and so we're working on it. I think, my son was also getting very tired. He's not used to like lack of sleep. I was helping getting him up at night to take him outside to go to the bathroom, but in the morning, I'm waking him up early, like 5:30, 6. And he's used to getting up at maybe 7, and in summer he's getting up a little bit even later, but the dog will wake him up at night. He's just wore out. He's wearing my son out, which is funny, but it does take a lot of energy. And part of all this was just to explain and teach my son responsibility and taking care of something. I think it's kids take a lot of work, and this is part of my parenting, is teaching my son how to take care of something, so that hopefully one day he will be a good parent as well. And oh man, there's so much work. Yeah, they are. But that's your job, So as the dog caretaker, the leader, or as a parent, I mean, you're taking care of something that's alive, and you need to give it discipline, routines, and love. And if you don't do those 3 things with kids or puppies, there's issues. They run into issues, and I think humans are a lot similar in that aspect. If you're not giving them the love they need, but discipline also. Like, people get confused with like discipline, like, oh, like you don't like them. Like, no, I love them. That's why we have to discipline them. If you don't discipline your kids, they don't understand rules or boundaries, and they won't interact with other people very well. Part of your job is that your kids interact with society well, and understand how to deal with people that are difficult, and not be one of the difficult people, and know when to draw your boundaries, and have discipline for yourself, self-discipline, because at a certain point they need discipline on their own, but nobody has that. You have to learn to do that, and routines help. Again, with a dog, it's like feeding them at a certain time every day. When I take my kids to jiu-jitsu, my older son does soccer too, So they know, like, we don't skip practices. We show up. You know, it's part of it's part of your responsibility as a parent to do that. I'm blown away by how many parents just blow things off. And it's like, well, you're teaching your kids, like, to just blow off responsibility, and that, you know, they're going to be employees one day, or employers, and that's just not part of life. You know, you can't just blow things off. It's just not the way it works. Or school too, you know, blowing things off, assignments and homework, and I mean, you could take a day here and there, but like, routine is super important with the kid and dogs, at least. You know, I don't know, cats, they do their own thing. It's hard to train a cat, but so far so good. I'm happy with the progress, and I'll keep you guys posted and put your pictures up for you guys so you can see what Bongo looks like, and maybe as this grows we'll do some more, and hopefully he becomes more and more a disciplined dog, and I think the dogs enjoy routine. They need a leader telling them what to do. That's just how packs work, you know, and sometimes people are like that too. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Talking about our new dog, new puppy. We haven't had one for a long time, and it's new for me, and this type of discipline is new for me. When I was younger, you know, we had a couple dogs, and I was just so busy, and I didn't get to put the effort into them, and that was my fault. And I don't blame that on the dog, I blame that on me. So this time around, we want to do a lot better, and hopefully my son, he was a lot better today. He was getting bummed and burnt out yesterday, but today he got enough sleep. The dog slept in a little bit, so and he's sleeping through the night without making a fuss and making a mess. So that's pretty good, pretty quick. And I'll keep you posted. Bye. Peace.
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way. Another rung to the ladder, either stalling or you're climbing, and I'd rather be the latter. Instead of getting fatter, let the footsteps resume naturally.